You've told 2 stories now, though, where like you're getting on your boyfriend's nerves.
Where I am?
Yeah, I forgot what the other thing you said was.
But isn't that rude? I can't believe I'm getting on anyone's nerves.
It's rude of him to be annoyed by you?
Yes.
I will say, we've talked about this a lot. Childish is a tough word to use in this situation, but I do understand his frustration of like, 55 people were booing you.
You didn't learn, Shannon? You didn't learn from that?
Because I just don't think that it is that big of a deal. I don't think I'm that much in anyone's space.
We're going to unpack. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by the lovely Shannon D and Jake Davis.
AKA
Shake it up.
Let's just get right into it because we had our live show. It was awesome.
Oh my God, was it ever?
I could glow so much. I got to start with these two. The most beautiful couple I have ever laid my eyes upon.
Oh yeah.
McKenna and Cade, shout out.
Love them.
Came up to me right away and McKenna just had this hushed energy and I was very afraid because she was like, we need to talk about something. I have something to say to you.
Yeah,
and I was
she
like,
did that to me too.
Yeah, and and it was about because I have a shower curtain that says the word gypsy on it, which I now know is a slur. I didn't know it was a slur when I bought the shower curtain, but it has a horse on it. I thought it was funny. Turns out it's not funny. Turns out it's a racist shower curtain. It's a big part of the show. You guys will find out later.
Yeah.
So anyway, McKenna's like, this whole horse thing, we will talk about this. And I was like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. What horrible thing did I do? And then she just goes, we also have a joke in our couple that bombs and nobody has ever liked it, but we like it and we understand you and we love you. And she gave me a playing card it was the Joker on one side, like a Joker playing card. And on the other side was a picture of them. And it's a very far picture. Like there's just 2 people kind of far away. And then they were like, a lot of people can't tell that it's us, but it is. And I was like, I love how botched this is. And they were just adorable.
They were adorable. She came up and gave me a little gift too. But I'll tell what it is after we talk about it.
You guys got gifts?
Yeah.
She goes, that Jake guy doesn't deserve a gift. I said, you're right.
Yeah, she said
You're
you
right.
were man-spreading.
Jake is like,
you'll see on the video.
I was saying it's hard to
Crotch
edit.
out.
The show wasn't perfect and, I'm a stand-up, so it's a little bit hard for me to edit because I got to accept, some of the things I said were deeply unfunny. And then Jake's like, oh, I feel you, dude. I was man-spreading the whole time.
I didn't realize it. I'm pretty sure I wasn't encroaching on anyone's space, but it's the first time that I've ever caught myself sitting like that. And usually I'm a cross-legged guy, but for whatever reason, I think it was the chairs we were sitting on. I'm a very large man and I take up a lot of space.
People know you're large.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't infringing on anyone else's personal space, but
fine.
I just
except for the woman right in front of you.
Well, you know what? If she's making me an object, that's her problem. I need to be able to exist with my body without everybody making a whole thing of it.
That's true. I feel bad for you. You got to put up with that all the time.
All the time.
So hard. The second hardest thing to be is a 6'5" white guy. The first hard,
5'8"
Cuban. But if you drive a Camry hybrid, it's easy. Our sponsor it's really not. Please though, Toyota, I would take it. But really the live show and Jake, it was so amazing to watch you perform, which I haven't done for so long.
I haven't done it in so long.
Oh yeah.
It's been 6 years since I've been on a stage. It felt amazing.
It's, I've always looked up to your performance craft. It's like no other.
Yeah, he was great.
And I thought I had a pretty good show, and I think everyone did. Christy was amazing. Lily was amazing. That said, I did think there was a clear standout for the show because she just brought this whole new side of her. She brought this wild side. We're like, oh, I didn't know she was like that.
Really?
I thought she was sweet little Shannon. And
Shannon went full
Ditzy Shannon.
She's a dirty dog.
What about it was so surprising?
Well, let's get into it. So Shannon, and I can't wait to share this with you all, but basically described, you posed it as a question. She actually asked everyone if she was the asshole for putting her feet up on the plane into the armrests
of the person in front
of the person in front
with her shoes off.
With her shoes off, which I almost thought she was like, oh, she's doing a bit now. She's taking it farther than she needs to go.
No, that's real.
But this is something you've actually done.
Done it my whole life.
It's your testimony today.
Yeah, I
that
had
you
no
have
idea.
put your feet up.
Now it's just on the very tip of the armrest. It's like a couple inches on it, and it's like the back side of the armrest that they have no access to at all.
Okay, so just so you know, this at the show, everyone in their car right now is like, "That's disgusting," and you're a monster.
Yeah,
everyone at the show agrees with you, and this was
agreed with.
This
you.
is when the show agrees with me and Jake.
Society,
or
everybody agreed with society.
I'm looking at your feet right now to make sure I'm safe.
Okay,
and everyone was disgusted by this, and I can't wait to share the live show with you guys, so you can be disgusted too. But the interesting thing is that Shannon was telling Jake right before this, like, yeah, my boyfriend is so annoying. He was like saying that feet thing, I can't do it, or what were you saying?
Yeah,
like,
he was saying that he's only ever seen children and me do it. That is very childish that I do this. And because I was basically saying to him, like, I'm still going to do it.
But Shannon, everyone.
Yeah,
and he said, you just had like direct proof that everyone thinks you're an asshole for doing it.
I mean, you did.
But the thing is, guys, like, how am I in anyone's space? I'm really not.
Let's try.
I'm not even touching them.
So you're telling me, though, if someone did this to you, you would be completely fine with it?
It wouldn't bother me. But
has anyone ever done it to you?
Well, apparently not, except for children, I guess, are the only ones that do it.
I have seen other adults.
Oh, you have?
No, I've seen other adults take their shoes off on the plane, and
of course.
No,
I'm
not of
already
course.
kind of
You don't
annoyed.
do that?
No, that's like a major travel faux pas. You don't take your shoes off on the plane.
Oh, I definitely
It's not
do.
jungle gyms. You're not about to get in the play thing with the ball pit.
I didn't know that was a faux
That's
pas.
a thing. It's starting to, like, the standard of what constitutes dress for airfare has been plummeting.
Yeah,
and I'm not
yeah. It
advocating
used
for
to be
classism
classy.
or the way things used to be, but you used to like wear suits and nice dresses and
Yeah,
whatever
I
to
know,
get on
but
a
you
plane
gotta get as
Now
comfy
people-
as you can possibly
without
get.
taking your shoes off.
Why?
People
Because
are
it's-
now wearing a banana G-string and they have a parrot on their shoulder. We have really gone the opposite direction.
You know
Hey,
how
I'm here for it.
You know how sometimes you work up a sweat, you get some BO going, you can't quite smell yourself as well as other people are going to smell you. It's the same thing with the smelliest fucking part of your whole body. It's this, yeah.
You think my feet are smelly?
You're saying that. I'm not saying that.
I also feel like it's an individual thing too, like pheromones and stuff. Like I feel like your feet could be mildly stinky to me, super stinky to Jake.
That's
you know?
true.
Like,
sensitive noses.
yeah, but Shannon, I mean, I am just a little shook because you know the listeners have heard me grow, and I think we all want to hear you grow from this. 'Cause, like, this is
wow.
this is pretty gnarly.
Oh my God. I really don't
This
think
is
it's that big of a
crooked, Shannon.
deal.
Man, and you're putting your feet next to someone, your bare feet.
First off, it was only my bare feet like for like a millisecond because it was really hot, and I normally
that's
never
relieving.
do that.
So
I
that's a
usually
rare
have socks
time.
on.
That's a rare
very
time.
rare.
Okay.
I usually have socks on.
She's really backtracking,
All right.
which is a relief.
Jake doesn't think it makes a
Worse-
difference.
I don't know.
The bare feet was seriously
An
not
exception.
long at
So you
all.
acknowledge now that the bare feet is wrong.
We can
Yeah,
start there.
I wasn't really thinking at the time. I was really hot. Like, I'm not even kidding. I was on fire.
But it's also important to remember, planes are just buses in the sky. So do you want your
That's-
bare feet?
That's what Max said, and that's what put me over, because he was like, would you like it if somebody sat next to you and put their bare feet on the chair in front of them? And I was like, damn, you're right.
Look at him.
And I was like, I guess I ought to stop.
That's you.
But like,
You're
it's so
doing that.
like it's so uncomfortable on planes.
It's always
What
it's
am I?
always going to be
You're
uncomfortable.
making everyone else less comfortable.
I'm not saying you
What
have
if I'm sitting next to my family?
I'll
Can I
see.
do it then?
I could live with that because no one else is gonna know.
family
But
family
then am I
rules is
still?
different.
But then am I still being rude to the person?
Well,
in
they're
front?
your family. If your mom is fine, well,
If
no,
you think my mom's
your mom
in
is in
front of
front
me,
of you, and your
If
mom.
my whole family's in front of
Yes.
me.
If you are
then-
completely
and next to me.
surrounded, yeah. If you are in like
U-shape.
a U-shape,
She booked seats in a column to make this happen. Max is like, "Am I sitting next to you, babe?" You're like, "No, you fool."
I'm protected now. In that instance, yeah, I
Then
think
it's
you're fine.
Okay.
Shannon, that is viscerally gross to put your foot next, your bare foot,
It's-
or even your
Okay.
socked foot.
It's order versus chaos, really.
Yeah.
You're injecting a lot of chaos into the plane.
I didn't
And you're
know
not as tall as
this.
Jake.
I truly didn't
You're
know.
tall. I give you that you're
Look.
tall, but like Jake is gigantically
I'm
tall.
not that tall.
I'm
Sometimes
not-
they get a separate airplane just for him.
Okay. You finally got me to break on a tall joke. That doesn't even make sense.
We'll break it out the little plane.
You would have to make the plane
second
taller.
plane.
Yeah, not longer.
No, it's just a second plane, and you just lay down in it. That's how big you are, Jake. He just lays down. He fits horizontally in the plane.
That actually sounds preferable than a normal flight for me.
No, it'd be great.
I'm not advocating that you do this, Shannon, because this is a choice that I make for myself. There's nothing I can do on a plane to make myself comfortable. The best I can do is sit in an aisle seat.
Yeah.
Die.
And-
That's the only way if you die.
So the way that I have chosen to handle this, because
Yeah.
I am still a 10-year-old boy, and I love the window seat. I love looking through that window and like, oh, look down there.
Oh, those clouds.
I
Are
like
you
the
kidding?
Gorgeous. So what I'll do is I will just tuck myself in like a fucking sardine as tight as I can and just prepare myself for however long I need. That I'm just going to be uncomfortable. And there's nothing I can do about that. And I accept it. And I try to just give as much space back to everybody
need
else
to-
as I can.
I need to take a picture of what I do so you guys have
No.
a better
I'd
understanding
really
of
prefer
it.
I
you
don't.
didn't.
I don't see this helping you, Shannon.
I'm so cool with not having a Shannon eye view of this position
Yeah.
that
I'm
you're in.
sending
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to you guys. I'm sending it
All
next time.
right, put it in
Max,
the Discord.
But I
I
have
apologize.
to say, I did have a few people at the live show that weren't supporting me in the moment come up to me after and tell me they were on my side.
God, this is a
So
fucking
listeners
lie.
out there, if anyone is on my side, please
Guys,
message me.
this is
Yeah,
gonna-
please.
This
I
is-
need to know
please.
that I'm not the only one.
We'll see, Shannon, if these alleged people who backtracked at the show.
Many
They
people.
didn't. I was like,
Many
Thank
people
you.
are saying it's
Thank
perfectly
you.
fine.
This
What I do with my feet, whose business? Mine.
Exactly it, dude.
I was
And
like,
they tell me I can't take off my shoes. I take off my shoes.
this is exactly what you're doing. No,
Exactly doing. He's doing what
I
you're
want
doing.
to know why these people are so against feet. What happened to them? Are they perverts? Many people are saying they're perverts.
Wow, this is
These fictional fucking people.
I'm
We
learning
will
so
see
much.
if the
They
10
were.
the 10,000
I
listeners who hear this. We will see if we get a single form submission that says, "I'm with Shannon. It's acceptable to put."
No, somebody's going to agree with her. There's going to be.
You think so?
There
and
will
I
be
love you.
over,
I love
under.
That was-
you.
yeah,
over under out of 10,000.
10,000's a lot. I like your odds.
20. Over under 20. I'm saying it's going to be somewhere between 20 and 0.
Okay, I think
Well,
maybe
these people after the
one-
show when they said they were on
What
my
did they
side, I was
say?
like, why
What
in
did
the
they-
hell didn't you support me in the moment? You're making me look
What
bad.
did they say, Shannon? What did these people say?
They said I was kind of with you, but I was embarrassed to
Interesting.
say.
Isn't that convenient?
Oh, I
nothing
wonder-
specific.
I
Did they say they
wonder-
did it or anything?
I forgot.
Oh, you
Shannon-
forget. Isn't that
Shannon's-
interesting, Jake? Isn't that interesting? She forgot.
Shannon's the Joker of airplane decorum. Just like, I'm tired of watching the whole world just go on. Like, this isn't normal. I'm
got
terrified.
You're being so
Wow.
absurd. We got two different act outs from Jake. Do you realize, Shannon?
I'm
Go
not
on.
much
and
of
they're
a
all
villain.
villains.
Go on.
They're
Yeah.
all villains.
Shoot.
If there are more than 1,000 people that agree with Shannon,
There's not.
my fear of societal unrest is going to be peaked. I'm going to have no faith
It's terrifying.
in our capacity to keep this shit
scary.
together if 1,000 people think this is okay. I'm sorry, Shannon. I'm drawing a line in the sand on this one.
Well, and then the listener that came up to me after.
Oh, she's been sitting there thinking about the details that she's going to invent. Go on.
No, she.
What color was her hair?
No, she gave me a little present, and she had an extra unused foot cream. So then the next time I do it, it'll smell
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I saw that happen. That was actually pretty.
Wasn't that
So she was setting me up for the next time I do it.
that was McKenna who gave you that?
Yes.
And, but she didn't take your side. Not McKenna and Kate. They
It was a
wouldn't
pretty
do
good
that.
joke. I was there. I saw it.
Yeah,
I did
they're
not hear
Setting
her
this
take
up.
your
She's
side.
setting that up.
I will say, all McKenna gave me was she told me, I just wanted you to know, you remind me so much of my uncle if he wasn't an overly religious hypocrite. I promise it's a good thing. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Oh my God, amazing.
I have uncle energy. I get it.
Yeah,
You
I
do.
like that.
Oh, you will. Well, you could be a good uncle one day because you're not gonna have kids.
No, that's Shannon with the quick Jake facts. It's becoming a fun thing.
Oh yeah, Jake went really hard on being child free during the show.
I don't want to
Yeah.
consider myself child free because if there was ever,
Well, you don't have any kids.
well, yeah,
Well,
but
no,
I'm not
but that's
like,
not what it means.
It's like how not drinking and not doing drugs, you're not necessarily straight edge. You're not like making it part of your personality and like getting XXX tattoos, right?
Yeah,
But
not the
you
child.
said at the show you
Yeah.
did not want to ever have
No.
kids. I didn't know that
Yeah,
about you.
no, it was something when I was younger. I always thought I wanted a big family, but as I got older, it just doesn't feel right for me. And my I'm kind of really comfortable with that choice for myself personally.
Yeah, but you could be a great
how you feel.
uncle.
I'm excited
uncle.
for that. And here's the thing too. I think child free is also like they kind of nag on people who choose to be parents. And we made some jokes about it at the show. But I think being a parent's a beautiful thing, and I totally understand why anyone would want to do it. Just a lot of personal choices of like I think I'm good,
good.
managing me, and like I want to be a part of the village. I want to help people with their kids. I want to be that
Sure.
kind of reliable person for them. I'm just preaching to Shannon over
I don't
here.
know where
She's at
Shannon's
church.
going. Are you child free as well, Shannon?
No, actually, I was
want
just telling
kids?
Jake this. Is I had a consultation today to get my eggs frozen.
So you want kids, but not now?
Yes, I want them when I'm like late 30s, early 40s.
And Max is still willing to have. You're gonna bear children despite
despite my faults.
Yeah, despite your faults, he's still down.
Yeah, well,
Whole litter of foot babies just running
Yeah.
around.
yeah, I'm gonna teach them my ways. I'm
Five
gonna try and
rows
get,
like a human centipede of feet on armrests.
We're taking it back.
Yes, exactly.
And how many kids do you want?
3.
3. Yeah,
That's a
I
good
I
number.
kind of feel 3 too.
Yeah.
And Max does too. We
Y'all would
both
be great
always
parents.
wanted for 3.
Cause it's me and my brother. How many siblings do you have?
Just my stepsister.
And what do you got?
An older sister.
So
did-
you're a twosome as well. I feel like us twosomes, we want that 3. I regret this because now I'm going to say threesome. That's obviously not what I mean. Because
Yes,
it's
I've
like
always wanted
2 is a
more
little
siblings.
intense. I think just 1 more is a little bit of chaotic energy.
You want a little rascal bringing up the
Yeah.
rear. Yeah.
And look,
Yeah.
the threesome dynamic is so fun. Look at
yeah,
that.
it's really it's
Exactly.
good energy.
It's good
Everybody
energy.
balances each other out.
Yeah, although I guess they do say that one and not always the one, but a lot of times they like end up ganging up on and they like take turns. My mom was one of 3 girls, and so a lot of times it'd be like these 2 are against this one, and then these 2 are against this one. So I've heard there's sometimes
That's
like a
good,
bit
though.
of a
Children are
dynamic.
Learn about
terrifying.
politics.
Children
you know?
will always find a way to terrify you.
Well, and I was thinking
true.
about Jen and Kate. Remember the classic siblings?
Plus 8.
No. No. It was a
That's John and
situation.
Kate.
It was a situation where Jen always paled in comparison to Kate, and the parents
Yes.
didn't know how to recognize
Not
Jen.
much to celebrate.
Not much to
not
celebrate.
much to celebrate. Woof.
And I feel like that would be slightly mitigated if there was another sibling.
Who's just the wild one?
Yeah, yeah. Roscoe's here.
Yeah.
Roscoe's playing a whole different game. He's playing a wear a cowboy hat indoors game.
Well, I would be disappointed in Jen today, but Roscoe started a paintball fight at the grocery store.
I love Roscoe.
What's that, Roscoe? I got a telephone booth in my room, Dad. What? What is that for? Roscoe. Well, that's interesting. It's good to know. So,
Yes.
okay. I mean, I don't know if I want to wait till early 40s. I think I want. I'm thinking like, I guess I got to meet a girl. I find that's important for starting a family. But
Yeah, it would
that's-
be.
what if I just started adopting kids?
Oh
As
my
I
God.
understand it, it's impossible. Like a
that impossible?
single man adopting is like
they
does
don't
not
let you.
happen.
They don't let you.
I think hypothetically it could, but
I like that. That could be a good personality for me.
the
have
guy who
kids.
adopts kids.
I just got all these kids, like, and a lot too out of nowhere. You're like, Danny has 6 kids now.
And he's living in a tent.
He's teaching them strange things. They're not in school.
They're all homeschooled. Hey kids, I'm gonna go get another one of you. What? Dad?
You're just building out a production staff for your media.
Seriously, it's all child
You all
labor.
start a podcast together.
Yeah,
I'd
seriously.
actually listen to that podcast.
Oh my god. All right. Speaking of kids, we're gonna do a pregnancy thing. We're doing some listener submissions. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Please join us on Patreon. We're I mean, Shannon's dropped Mega Juice. Some some of the funniest fucking riffs, 140 bonus episodes, Discord community where Shannon's probably going to post that nightmarish foot pic that we'll all be dreading for years.
I really hope that after today, we really gear back on the foot chat.
You are sitting here with bare ass feet right now.
We're in my house.
Okay.
That's fair. That's a good counter. You can do whatever you want in your house, but you are right. You look good though. But man, if that was next to me on a plane,
They're keeping their distance.
I would retch.
I had a like nail polish on.
What if someone just put your foot and then they just take the throw up bag and just stuff your foot in the bag to cover your nasty smell. Oh
My feet don't smell.
I'm not.
No, I'm sure they do.
They smell not because you're smelly, but because they're feet, mate.
That's true.
They're the
That's
worst.
true.
Right. So feet, right? Terrible things.
Terrible.
Why we even have them stomping around, looking like hams with bones?
That's the other thing is I'm not grossed out by feet.
That's the British guy, and he starts doing stand up in your ear. What's going on with that?
Oh, next to me on the plane.
Yeah.
I don't
Letting your
understand,
dogs
y'all.
breathe, is it?
Join us on Patreon where Jake's going to do more of that voice. Our second story of the day, AITA, if I ask my friend to pay for messing the carpet up in my car. Ooh, boy. But we're going back to Pregnancy Town. I've been liking these.
Pregnancy and Animal Town.
This is the whole
Pet
podcast
town.
at this
It
point.
really
I
is.
know.
But these are juicy. I don't know.
Pregnancy
They're
is
very-
pretty juicy.
Ooh, it's gross.
I did. You made it
God.
sexual. I'm saying literally.
That's
There's
sexual.
there's a lot of juice involved
Yeah,
in
it's
pregnancy.
gross. All the juices and the amniotic fluid and shit. Ugh.
Ugh. All right. AITA for not rehoming my snake so my dad's pregnant partner can move in. Danny, take it away.
I'm a 16M, and I've always loved snakes. My mom and her partner own over 20 reptiles, so I've been around them for as long as I can remember. I live with my dad. I mean, after my riff about 6 adopted kids, that seems like very normal. Like, oh yeah, he's a man who adopted 6 kids. They have 20 reptiles. I live with my dad and currently own 2 adult female ball pythons and a baby corn snake that lives in enclosures in our basement/family room. They're all very friendly and docile and love to be held. My dad's partner of 2 years is terrified of snakes and thinks they're disgusting. I'm not allowed to handle them or take them out of their enclosures when she's here because she'll freak out. She thinks it's disgusting that we have frozen mice in our house too. LOL. My dad is expecting a baby. They did not really laugh out loud, though. Surely they did not. My dad is expecting a baby with his partner, and she wants to move in before the baby's born. But she insists my dad makes me rehome my snakes first because she thinks it's dangerous to have them in the same house as a baby. My dad and I have both tried educating her, but she won't change her mind. She won't compromise with my dad, and he's tried compromising with me and suggested I keep them at my mom's house. But my mom lives 9 hours away, and I would only see them every few months. It's caused a lot of fighting between him and his partner, and she's basically telling everyone that he's choosing his son's pets over her and their baby.
I think we could all agree right off at the bat, these two people should not be getting married.
I agree with that.
You decided, hey, you know what I fucking hate? Snakes. You know who I am fucking down with? The dude with 20 reptiles.
Well,
no. Yeah, it's
no.
confusing. It's confusing.
No.
It is very confusing. OP's a 16 guy.
Yeah. The OP's a 16-year-old, and his mom and his stepdad essentially have
her
20
partner.
reptiles.
Okay.
Don't heteronormative this.
Oh, I'm
Mom
sorry.
and her
Her
partner, which could be a stepdad or a stepmom or
Right.
whatever. They have
20
over 20
reptiles.
reptiles.
Okay.
OP is
He lives with his dad.
He lives with his dad.
I missed the stepdad and mom part.
Well, that's because you don't have an iPad right in front of you with the situation.
I go off the feeling, Shannon.
So, okay, and OP he's always loved snakes. You know what I love about this? Because this is already going to force us out of this comfortable zone of dogs and cats. Neither of us have owned any, nobody here has owned any reptiles.
I have, well, no. Wait, a turtle?
Oh.
That's a reptile.
What's
Yeah.
a turtle, Jake?
Yeah.
Turtle is a reptile.
Turtle's
yeah.
a reptile?
Well,
Yeah.
Turtle's amphibian.
Frogs and amphibians.
Frogs and amphibian.
Turtles are reptiles.
Turtles are reptiles.
They breathe
Holla,
water.
and guess what?
Holler at the turtles?
Ain't no holla back, girl.
I would qualify amphibians in the same cast of what you need to consider in keeping as pets, because you're talking terrarium, you're talking specific environments.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with reptiles, but I did grow up around a lot of people who knew a lot about animals. So you just kind of like, I don't claim to be an expert, but reptiles are part of the reason that I was kind of busting up off mic when you were reading this story is the concept of 20 reptiles sounds... How did you get into this position?
That's
because
a lot.
you have to love them, but like, have you ever been in the same room as an iguana?
No. Well, actually, I guess so,
several times, but not recently.
Has one been on you? Has one ever?
No, I don't want that on me, really.
It looks like it's thinking about how it could harm you. And I love animals, and I think iguanas are cool from a distance. Like, they're very vibey. I get why people
They look like
them.
dinosaurs.
They do, no, and they're beautiful. But when you get up close, you realize how big those claws are, and you see how empty those eyes are. But they're just churning.
And they can move really quick. They're like...
Yeah, when they do the little scamper.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming for you.
I don't know. They just
Whipping the tail. You.
Wow.
So all that to say, having the spirit of somebody who's like 20 reptiles, awesome. And these are my snakes. I get to keep them away from the 20 reptiles at my mom's house.
Reptiles.
So this kid has to fucking love these snakes.
Yes.
If you're growing up in an environment with that many reptiles.
Well, those are his though.
Yeah.
Those are his in particular.
So he's going to feel super tied to this. And
there we go.
I'm going to say off jump, this is not the Great Dane situation that we covered in a recent app. This is very, very similar. These are animals that stay in terrariums. They don't freely roam.
And by the way, let me say, just physically speaking, these are not rattlesnakes. Snakes are harmless. They're scary as shit. I mean, I don't want a snake on me.
Fascinating creatures, though.
They're fascinating. They don't move right. What are you doing? Why do you walk around like a normal person?
They're so simple, but they're so effective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they say there's something primal about it. The movement of a snake, it's very like, we're programmed to see that shit.
Yeah,
it's all
years of
fucked up.
practice.
Yeah.
And our Kia says, it's not like the snakes are going to slither out of their enclosure and murder the baby in its sleep. And then someone responds, really? I've had snakes, and yes, this can happen. Fortunately, there were no babies in the house. My brother got rid of his snake when his girlfriend was pregnant. And then someone says back, he has 2 ball pythons and a corn snake. They are docile and will only bite if provoked. They don't bite without a reason.
You hear that, baby?
Yeah,
Baby, don't provoke the ball python. Baby corn snake, that's fine. You can provoke him.
And then they say a chihuahua is more of a danger to a baby than those snakes.
Chihuahuas just catching strays out here. They weren't a part of this fight.
No, chihuahuas are getting dinged all over the place.
Easy ding.
Yeah.
So I don't know how legitimate any of that is, but just something to think about.
I'm going back to the same land, and actually I had a conversation with Dr. Vega himself. We do not see eye to eye on this, but I think we're going back to it. But my dad feels that the fear of the Great Dane in the previous situation, which is very similar to this, is a phobia, and that it could respond well in therapy.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's irrational. But I've really lodged onto what Jake said, which I thought was a very fair characterization of these kinds of fears, which is as primal. Like, you're supposed to be afraid of snakes. You're supposed to be afraid of a dog the size of a horse. Like, and if you're a pregnant woman, you don't want that in your house. And so I understand that.
For sure.
That doesn't necessarily mean get rid of the dog instantly or get rid of the snakes instantly, but I'm just saying I would not tell my pregnant wife, F you, go to therapy. What you're feeling is irrational. I'd be like, no, what you're feeling is rational. You are bearing a child, and I don't want you to be anxious.
And also, yes, exactly, the anxious part. Because regardless of if this is quote unquote rational or not, is the anxiety and stress is very real. So regardless of all of that, she's still feeling bad, and that's harming your baby.
Well, and people will say, well, flying on an airplane, right? People are anxious about that. I don't really think you can go to therapy and not be afraid.
Well, that's because they're seeing people putting their feet up on armrests in front of them.
Again.
That is, never forget. Yeah, well, I'm like, I don't necessarily think that, you're flying in a metal tube going, 600, of course you're afraid of that. Like, of course it's going to give you anxiety. You rationally understand that it's perfectly safe, but I'm like, you can't just therapy out all these things. Like, I don't think that's realistic. If a pregnant woman said, I'm uncomfortable flying, it gives me anxiety, and I especially don't want to do it now that I'm pregnant, I'd be like, I totally understand that.
Yeah. No, and
but the only thing is that these are beloved things in their creatures in
Absolutely.
in their
No,
life.
and then we're again in the same place. And I think we were all lined up that this is similar to the Bond.
It's similar.
Okay.
But here's where
There we go.
for me,
Hot take.
if you try to rehousing a Great Dane, we talked about it on the previous episode. There are readied resources for that kind of thing. There are pet hotels, there are boarding centers, and granted, that costs money.
Sure.
But we had no reason to believe that that wasn't within the financial means of this family. And people are also down to take care of dogs. People love dogs. You can find somebody to take care of a Great
But you
Dane.
didn't feel this way about the cat. Now we're going all the way back to the cat
Right, but
and the litter
that,
box.
but we're to specify on that. My problem with that was how the partner was protecting his pregnant partner.
No, but you were saying that, but for a cat, you just meant that it was hard to get someone to go do the litter only, but that there are resources for cats as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but 3 snakes. There's not a snake hotel. 2 snakes and no, there's two
ball pythons and a baby
corn
corn snake.
Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Shit.
Where's your iPad now, Shannon? I'm over here riffing and killing it.
Well, to go off of that real quick,
We do not endorse iPad. Where's your generic tablet?
is that okay? Maybe 3 snakes would be maybe harder to rehome, but I would argue back
Here we go.
that dogs. I might be getting in trouble saying this.
Just say it.
But like, I feel like dogs have more like feelings than the snakes.
I have no idea. I have no idea what the processing power of emotion is in a snake.
Well,
I
snakes
can't
are
claim
old,
that.
man. Snakes have been out forever.
I
you know
feel
what
like
mean?
they're not like, oh no. Like dogs are very like, so I'm saying like rehoming a dog is much more difficult, I would think, on their emotional stability. I know they get, I know they
Right.
forget after a little bit, but I think, you know, just the,
I think that's
Whatever.
fair to say. I don't think any.
But now we're arguing: is it sadder to give up a dog or is it sadder to give up snakes?
Yeah,
and
no,
that's
it's
not
not.
the
No, no, no,
argument.
no.
It could be equally hard on the kid, right? Because you can form a
Right.
bond.
Right,
the
right,
bonds
right.
doesn't need to necessarily be about
Some kids are snake kids.
exactly, and you can love your little snakies, and great for you.
I was a
And-
turtle girl myself.
Yeah,
Turtle girl.
that's so weird.
Weird.
I don't know.
Actually,
just
my
the way you
turtle-
said that is weird. I'm a turtle.
I would
girl.
have thought you had a rabbit growing up.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
I
nailed
did.
it.
And
I
you
like
know, want to know what I
rabbits.
named him? Zach, because did you guys ever listen?
Was that supposed to land? Zach.
I was waiting for a rabbit pun.
Zach. You'll never guess what I named him. A common name. Ha ha.
This is Todd Phelps.
Because did you guys ever listen to the the Hanson brothers?
Yeah.
The youngest one, Zach, was
Yeah.
like my number
That's
one crush of
amazing.
my
That's
whole
cute.
life, and so I named him Zach after him.
But look,
Zach Hansen, if you're
and
listening.
if you love, if you love your reptile, Zach, if you're listening, please defend her on the feet thing. If you love your reptiles, that's great. But I think it is uncontroversial to say, and I will risk cancellation. Snakes they're not mammals. They're cold-blooded. There's a reason we say you're a cold-blooded motherfucker, because Jake's right. They're trying to eat you, these things.
You're putting a lot of words in my mouth
Well, you
about
said
human
the
snake
iguana.
relationships.
You took a shot at the iguanas.
I did.
And iguana. I mean, snakes have been
I
out.
was paying homage to iguanas. I respect them for how scary they are.
Snakes. I mean, the basic idea of a snake has been out for probably like 500 million years.
Oldie
like
but a
this
goodie.
is- Oldie but a goodie. You know what I mean? They're like primordial creatures. Like, you know what I mean?
I
We're
understand.
getting so caught up on the semantics
Here-
of the
okay,
snake,
let me
I think.
pitch this. Just get a fucking terrarium that the snake can't get out of.
Yes. There's so many other solutions to this problem of like keeping the door locked, making sure you have a trinium that has a lock on it, for example.
Buy him a shed. Buy him a shed for the snakes.
That does feel more plausible here.
Oh, buy a
to have a
shed.
dog shed for the golden, for the
snakes.
big dog is hard, but for the snakes, snake shed.
That's, yeah.
snake shed.
I gotta say, this feels like a much more solvable problem just
Yeah.
by merit of the fact that snakes aren't.
That's
very
what I'm
big.
saying. Is like it's
Right.
harder to rehouse snakes, but it's easier to keep snakes in your house. You can't just
easy.
keep a Great Dane in a glass box.
True.
that you can't
Please
get out
don't. Please don't.
And all, yeah.
I told this situation to someone and they go, why don't they just keep him a kennel in the room? I'm like, because he's a Great Dane.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's gigantic.
Even just
It's like
being
putting Jake in a 757. He needs both stories.
Even a Great Dane just being in an apartment is basically like it's in a cage.
It's cruel.
It's
That's
so
funny.
big.
Great Dane is to New York City apartment as Chihuahua is to kennel.
Yeah.
Like, he's very limited.
I felt that way about people in Phoenix with huskies. Like, come on.
That's-
what are you doing?
Why is Phoenix on
Huskies, because they've got all that
So
fur.
the hotness,
They're
yes.
built for the Arctic.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it's like having a polar bear in Tucson. Inside I 3994 top comment. He's not choosing your pets. He's choosing you. And any parent who chooses their kid first isn't an asshole, and neither are you. NTA.
And also, you're going to be a new stepmom. I think that this is a great chance for you to be a little bit flexible and step up in that way. I don't know if, like, you know, you're clearly dealing with feelings, but this sounds pretty malicious. This doesn't sound as like, I don't know. There's something
Right.
mean here. It's like, I don't
Wicked
know.
stepmother.
There's something about like throwing the weight around through the door. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
You're
not
really
even-
afraid. You're really afraid
Of
that
a ball
that the snake is going to get out of the terrarium.
Somebody said that happens.
But no, they said that snakes get out. They said
Yeah.
they said that snakes get out. They
Snakes
didn't
get
say that
out.
snakes strangle babies.
But Jake, I mean, that's where I'm struggling here is that, like, you know, if you're a pregnant woman scared of a Great Dane jumping on you, you're really going to tell me
That is so much. Statistically, that sounds so much more feasible than the snake escapes, finds the baby's room, and then says, "This one dies tonight."
Yeah.
But there's
That's
three.
true.
There's you think they're gonna coordinate
But
it?
again, I don't
They're
think
gonna take out a little gang hit?
I don't think this is a I don't think What are you whispering about? I think that it's not rational. I agree. It's not plausible. I think neither one is very plausible. I think that it's perfectly safe to have a Great Dane around. It's perfectly safe to have a box of snakes. Realistically, I would never say. I would never say. It is a box of snakes.
No, it's a terrarium.
It's a box. It's a box of snakes. There's a box of snakes downstairs.
Basically.
So, but
Technically.
what I would never say someone is being abusive or irresponsible or negligent by having a box of snakes or a Great Dane or both. I would never say that. But I'm not going to sit there and tell a pregnant woman you're being crazy.
No, but you don't have to say that.
I just think
But
that
I
there's
just
other
understand her
solutions,
fear.
and she is not willing to compromise.
So you think that she should be able to say, keep the box of snakes in the garage or the
Put a
attic?
padlock on it.
Yes. Yeah, put a lock on it. How are
I don't
snakes
think
going to
the
get out?
Yeah, I guess I don't know how terrariums
There
work.
has
You're
to, there
telling me.
has to be with technology these days that there's not a terrarium with a goddamn lock on
We
it.
can't keep snakes in terrariums. What are we doing? We need to address this problem
We need to
immediately.
figure it out.
Oh my god, guys, snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
We've been talking about planes and snakes.
Oh, that's
I
the
would
episode.
rather be on that plane than have you behind me, you sick girl. No Cheesecake writes, I've had snakes and this can happen. Shadow Hollow, he has two ball pythons and a corn snake. They're docile and will only bite if provoked. See, Shannon read all the comments.
Shannon read that into the.
I know.
Oh,
She
Wait,
read
there's
it
an
already.
update though.
I'm trying to read through the comments, but you threw my rhythm. You didn't even read them in order, you fucking terrorist.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Kooky today, 3172, right? Oh my God, Shannon's foot is in the computer. Okay, we got a no assholes here. I feel for her in this situation. She had an unplanned prego and deserves to feel safe. Have the help of her partner with the newborn. You, of course, have the right to have your pets. Your father should be able to have both of his children in his home. The whole situation sucks.
I was actually kind of starting to lean that way because and I'm taking a reach at saying there's something was tinged malicious, but we're hearing from somebody who's affected by the stepmother, so it's going to sound a little bit more malicious. Taking that out of it, snakes creep her out and she's afraid of all three snakes executing a gang hit on her baby. And I don't understand it, but if that's how you feel, you're not wrong. But I do think that a padlock fixes this situation.
It
Let me
doesn't
look
though
up
because it's an
terrariums.
irrational fear, and she just doesn't want the snakes
Yeah,
there.
you're right. I guess I'm just
You
thinking
know?
like if you
it's just like the Great Dane. The Great Dane had a perfect track record. He never jumped. He was a damn good boy.
Yeah.
It's just that he's a huge dog, and it's just like they're fucking snakes.
yeah, it's just like ball python. I don't know shit about snakes, but I know ball pythons are just like they're basically long puppies.
Ball pythons are
Yeah,
puppies.
They're long puppies. They're just like they just chill.
I mean, They're pythons.
Yeah, they're pythons.
Does anybody hear a python? Come here.
Come
here, little python.
Tell you something. Humans kill way more than pythons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you there.
That's a fact.
I mean, I think that we're going to butt up on this forever, but Shannon, you're excited about this. You want to read the update for us?
Yes. All right, guys. I tried my hardest to come up with a compromise using your suggestions and advice. Getting more locks to secure the enclosures.
There's 5 different locks.
Offering to never take the snakes out of the enclosures with her or the baby around, etc. My dad's partner wasn't willing to compromise and find a middle ground, and my dad kind of chose to be neutral. I ended up in with my mom and her partner over the summer. Well, that works out perfect because I heard they have 20 reptiles. They rented a U-Haul and helped me transfer the snakes and enclosures to their house. It wasn't what I wanted because I liked my school and liked living with my dad. But it's fine, and I like my new school, and I have already met some cool people here. And I'm able to handle my snakes wherever I want. Overall, it worked out, and it's better to be in this environment. My dad's partner moved in with my dad shortly after I moved out and had their baby towards the end of the summer. They still live together, but they've broken up since then, and I'm not really sure how long they plan to live together. My grandmother told me they're just focusing on the baby and co-parenting right now. Sorry if this wasn't a very satisfying update, but I thought I'd let you guys know.
OP, if you're listening, I commend you for your commitment to what you care about, because that takes a deep level of conviction to stand by it that hard of like, you didn't send your snakes away, you looked after them, and that takes a lot of fortitude to follow through on something like that. So kudos to you for having a really, really good base beneath you and knowing what was important to you in this. It's rare when we read these that we get to see somebody really sticking up for what they believe in, and it's admirable.
Sad, but it is. I do feel. I mean, it's not the worst situation. It seems like he's happy, but it just does suck that he had to literally transfer schools as a 16-year-old.
Hard.
That's
rough.
really hard, and the fact that he, I think that you did I think there was a healthy choice for yourself here, because you recognize this environment's going to suck. I get rid of these snakes.
Yeah.
They're already broken up. You saw the writing on the wall, and it sounds like you took a step back for 2 steps forward from how you're talking about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think, and maybe even going back now on a lot of these situations that really, when we start to throw out YTA, I know it's not the same with the cat litter guy because it was such an easy thing and he was being very rigid. But I think my takeaway here is, and we've hit on this a few times, but it's just like, this is just simply a bad situation. And just because you're in a bad situation doesn't mean someone did something wrong. And I think going back to another discussion we had about impulses, it's like it's such an easy impulse to be like, oh, you're fucked up and you're a piece of shit. And it's like, well, not necessarily. Like, she's a pregnant woman that doesn't want a box of snakes, and you're a guy who wants your box of snakes. Like, it's just mutually incompatible. It doesn't mean anyone's like wrong or it has to be ugly or bad. Not that anybody slung any insults or anything here, but it's just so easy to fall into that. And I think that's a good like framework for like looking at things, of just being like, does someone have to be the bad guy here? Even if someone is doing something wrong, because like, if they're in a tough situation, this is a way to extend more grace. I think is to just think like, do they have to be a bad guy, or are they maybe just having a bad day and trying to live life like that?
Totally. And I have to commend the partner for, sticking up for herself and I mean, having some
fortitude to be like, I don't want that. Yes. I mean, I think it's important. I think I think you're allowed to be prissy when you're pregnant. I think that's super fair. That's super fair. And it doesn't help anyone to judge the other people here and be like, you're a freaky lizard freak or whatever. She goes to lizard for some reason. Anyway, I think we've talked through. I think I've had enough animal pregnancy situations for one lifetime.
Yeah, wow. They just keep coming.
We really ran the gamut here. AITA for not rehoming my snakes so my dad's pregnant partner can move in.
NAH?
Yeah.
No assholes here.
No assholes here. It is kind of funny that they couldn't make it through the summer, but sorry for that baby.
What?
No, it's kind of funny that like that
the
whole
couple.
thing happened, and then it's just like, oh
They
yeah,
didn't
she
even
sucks.
last.
I
Yeah.
know.
He sucks. She sucks.
Yeah.
She doesn't even like snakes.
The snakes was inside you all along. AITA, if I asked my friend to pay for messing the carpet up in my car. A couple weeks ago, my friend Brooke came home from college. We've been friends for 12 years. We plan on going to the drive-in movie theater. Before leaving, I asked her to pick up some snacks for us, and I asked for specially hot cocoa if they had it. So she picked me up some hot cocoa, and I made it before we went. I made cocoa with milk in it. Okay.
Yum.
The container, I cannot see how that will be morally relevant going on. The container I put in the cap didn't fit fully on. On the way to the theater, someone pulled out in front of me and I had to slam on brakes. Brooke was in the passenger seat and dropped it and spilled it everywhere. She poorly tried to get it out. We went by Starbucks because I wanted cocoa so badly. We got napkins there and she pressed them down on the carpet. Well, this last month, my car smelled awful. We barely even write in it. It's so bad. I had to take my car to the doctor's and was gagging and had to roll the window down. And I can't just do this when I drive right now because it's winter. It's too cold. I've used everything in the book. Clorox, surface cleaner, aired it out, deodorizer, scrubbed and scrubbed. I recently discovered that underneath my seat, there's a thing you can move, and underneath it, mold. And it was definitely the spot. As soon as I moved the boxing, the smell just rolled out just right in my face. So I thought about asking my friend if she could help me pay for it. I don't know how much it'll be, but I know I'm not going to have to rip the carpet out. So would I be the asshole if I asked her to help me pay for it? Maybe like 50%.
Excuse me. You say right here the container I put it in didn't have a cap that fully fit on.
Big gotcha.
You made the cocoa. What the hell does your friend have anything to do with this that she would have to pay for it?
Yeah, I got confused. So
Was she holding the creamer?
Her friend was, but because she was driving.
Yeah.
But the container that the submitter put it in didn't have a cap that fully fit on. So your friend was holding it for you.
You didn't give her a heads
someone
up?
pulled in front of me and I had to slam on the brakes. Brooke was in the passenger seat and dropped it and spilled it everywhere.
Oh, well, she dropped it, I guess.
Well, you also
But you
slammed on the
your
brakes.
brakes.
We're really
I-
Law and Order in this one.
I mean, I didn't fully understand it. I thought there were two containers. That's why I made but it was relevant because it was milk because the milk made it gross.
Oh, made it more mold.
But then OP is such a hot cocoa fiend. She's like, we're going to go to Starbucks to get cleaning supplies because I want more cocoa.
Yeah.
That was also kind of
That's a CVS stop.
yeah, exactly. Not the right place to do a cleanup. And you need to act on these things stat.
Yeah,
Go
because
to
you
a
said
car wash.
we just got napkins there. Well, they're not going to go to
Car
a car
wash
wash
is the
at
outside
night.
of the car, isn't it?
Yeah, you
No,
can
you
go
can
and
get
get the
it,
inside
too.
clean like that.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
Yeah, but
it's not
that
like
night, I wouldn't have done it that
Oh,
night.
it's a night.
She was
Okay.
going to the movies, a drive-in theater with like the
Oh, okay,
best
very clearly
ever.
at night, yeah.
Miss those.
Yeah.
Miss those.
There's a few. There's one in Ventura, one up in Valencia too.
Ooh.
This felt very
we
much
should
like it was
go.
set in the 50s. I don't know why. Driving
yeah, with the
theater, hot cocoa. So wholesome.
And then my best gal spills crema all over my
Yeah.
jalopy.
Yeah. I think Shannon kind of nailed this right off the bat. I just don't really see any grounds. I mean, OP, like, this was simply your fault, like on multiple levels. I think it might be interesting though, just to go that route and just pretend it was more Brooke's fault. Like, let's say that the cap did fit fully on and that Brooke had actually opened it to get some hot cocoa. That
But
honestly
still,
wouldn't shift me enough.
I don't think it would either because she still slammed on the brakes. But I mean, I understand someone pulled out in front of you. Either way, it was an accident or you prevented
Right.
an accident by slamming on your brakes. But Brooke dropping it was an accident. And I don't see why she would ever have to pay for
It feels scammy to push
Yeah.
somebody for this. Like, is it really that big of a deal to you? This if she, as a fun prank, spilled creamer all over the car while laughing,
Then I would understand.
Yeah, maybe she should pay for it to pay for her cool prank. But I don't think you have a leg to stand on here. This was just an accident.
Yeah,
and
I would
it's your car.
say I would say OP, please don't ask your friend to pay half.
No,
of this.
I think you would be wrong. I think you
Unless you want one less friend and you're cool with her being not around anymore.
Yeah, and gossiping
not her
about
fault.
you behind your back.
honestly, even if you didn't slam on the brakes and Brooke just dropped it,
Yep.
I would still say you let her drink in the car, and it's just a plausible risk that someone will drop a drink.
It's your car.
You
And
normalize.
Danny does not allow that in his Camry Hybrid.
Exactly. Thank you.
2022.
Even water?
2021. Thank you for respecting the rule. Water's fine.
Okay.
Water's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a wild look.
Is
in
it
your
good
eye
water?
Right now. Yeah, it's great.
It
water.
better not be hard
it
water.
filtered?
No, it's going to be like Core.
Core?
Yeah, you have Core
is that a
water.
brand?
Oh, dude, Core water
With the
hits.
blue caps, right?
Really? Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea if you're joking.
No,
or not.
Core
You
water.
really like Core water?
Smart water's pretty good too.
I've never seen this much passion about a specific water brand.
Because Core's got a little cup on top that's also the lid.
I got
Oh,
a
it
cup for free.
does.
AITA, if I ask my friend to pay for messing the carpet up in my car, OP, sorry about your stinky car. I hope it's not a Camry Hybrid. Probably some piece of shit like a Camry Hybrid 2022. Those fucking suck. What you want is a 2021. That is the
That's a
best
good
one
one.
ever made. Every other one before or after, pure garbaggio. Yeah, I think this would be.
Yeah,
this is a you would be
you
the
would
asshole.
be
They're not
the
doing it.
asshole.
They're being thoughtful. They
Yeah,
thought
they're
this through.
asking.
I get it.
This-
it hurts.
I
It
hope we
sucks.
got to you in time.
It sucks.
Yeah, this is the perfect
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
question for asking strangers on the internet. Hey, should I do this? Like, this is the kind of thing you should throw up there because everybody will let you know real quick.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
I think maybe some rules for this are like it has to be something that is really the other person's fault, like totally, and it has to be something that isn't really like a foreseeable thing,
right.
you know, like and they acted with malice or extreme negligence, like
Like if she showed up to the window with one cup of coffee and said, "Hey, can I bring my coffee inside?" and you're like, "Yeah," and then she has 8 different carry cases of a bunch of hot coffee.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
can I bring my 40 cups of coffee? That would definitely be like, well, she tricked you.
It's a fun prank.
It's a fun prank. The classic coffee in the car bit. All right, we're going to wrap up here on this one. It's kind of dark, honestly. If you're having a rough
cool.
day, you might
Right.
not want to get into this, but it's...
Send them home on a high note.
I know. I should have put the...
Yeah, we should have put the
fucking
cocoa
snakes
last.
at the end.
I'm
The
sure we'll find a way to
cocoa,
laugh about it.
but we'll see. AITA for wanting to stay with friends or family. My BF, male 33, and me, F23, have an argument regularly about me wanting to stay with family or my best friends. We've been together for 4 years, and I've never stayed with anyone since the day we got together. I have one who lives in the town over, which is 45 minutes, that we will call Zola, and one who lives 3 hours away that we can call Abigail. I see Zola more than Abigail, but we're still very close. Sometimes we'll chill out for a whole day where we want to continue and just have me stay over. My BF always has an issue with this. He thinks it's weird I want to stay with my friend and says females are weird and that he never wants to stay with his friends. I don't see the problem with it, but I'm not sure if I'm missing something. With Abigail, I stayed with her for 2 nights because I was taking a motorcycle safety course in her town, and it was a lot cheaper and time-saving to stay with her. He didn't have a problem with it, but brings it up when he talks about me staying with friends, quote-unquote, all of the time. Another issue is with me staying with my mom, who also lives close, 45 minutes away, and that I don't see her regularly. I went to her house after I got off work at 4 a.m. I work night shift. He thinks it was weird for me to sleep in the same bed as her and the fact that I had to stay the night. He thinks I should have came home after shopping. I wanted to get away because I was under a lot of stress in our household and needed a break. Also, my dad, who lives an hour away, who I don't see at all, wanted me to stay with him, and I always tell him no because I know my BF will have a problem with it. But I feel as if I'm wasting time with my dad. You never know what can happen, and I don't want to regret never seeing him or spending enough time. AITA for wanting to stay with family and friends.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah, this one's not exactly a chuckle fest.
No,
It's not.
this is abusive.
Yeah, there's a lot of red flags here.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Manipulative.
you
And what do they call that when they try and they're trying to get you away from your loved one?
Isolation.
Isolation. Thank you. It feels like that very much.
you should never ever no partner, no matter how much you love them, the second they start telling you who you can and can't spend your time with, that is a massive danger sign.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and this is a pretty big age gap. I mean, your boyfriend
Yeah.
is my age, OP, and you're 23. Like,
That's-
he's probably
That's
kind
a
of...
whole decade.
That's a lot of time. I was a very different little creature at age 23. Not that you were like me, but I just...
But also, the boyfriend's the one that's being extremely immature, and he's the one that's a decade older.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, just to say the sense that she doesn't have a lot of experience with relationships or know what's normal or not. I mean, I think we can, get into this. Unfortunately, yeah, it isn't really a chuckle fest, but we're very concerned for you, OP. And I think a lot of people, don't have a good sense of boundaries or what's right or wrong. I mean, let me just try to briefly just say that he thinks it's weird for me to sleep in the same bed as your mom. I think that's fair. I think that's the best I can do for him and say that is a little uncommon. I never really heard of that.
What? No, there's nothing weird about that.
Really?
Yeah.
You do that?
Well, I'm not going to do that if there's other beds available, but who's to say that she doesn't have more than one bedroom?
Yeah. I mean, there's
like
nothing,
in a hotel
there's
room,
certainly
I'll stay
nothing
with my
wrong with
mom.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
And there are
right.
also women I know that like to cuddle with their mom, and
Sure.
I'm not super intimate with my family members in that way, where I'm not very physical. I just like to cuddle with people I'm romantic with, but a lot of people love to platonically cuddle.
Yeah,
I mean, especially with your parents or your mom, same sex kind of thing. So I don't think that that's odd.
Great. I mean, I was really just saying it to say something because I think this is such a no-brainer.
It's so hard to find any part of this where there's a two-way conversation. There's really dangerous behavior at play here, and your instinct to want to spend time with your family members is, I don't even want to say justified. You are viciously right. You should be able to see them whenever you want and whenever they're able to see you.
There's nothing wrong with spending the night, especially when you live 45 minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and look, OP, I think this is coming off as your boyfriend is controlling you, so I don't want to be ambiguous about that. I guess if this relationship didn't reek so much of that to me, I would say that is something that I would definitely want notification of from my partner. Like, you're used to sleeping with your partner every night. So I guess this is not really what I'm picking up here. What I'm picking up here is that your boyfriend does want to not let you have close relationships with other people, which is super scary and really bad.
Yeah.
But I will say there is some gray area if this situation were more normal, because I would say well, it's a little weird, and I would forenotice if you're not going to sleep next to me. If we live together and you're not going to sleep next to me, you're going to go randomly have a sleepover. I would like to be told ahead of time, a day or two.
Always key.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little unusual. I mean, usually couples sleep next to each other every night. That's just kind of how it goes. But obviously, there's nothing wrong with someone going and sleeping over.
Wait, would you have a problem if she just was with her friends and then called you that night and was like, oh, I'm actually tired, I'm just gonna sleep at Abigail's?
Well, yeah, if there was a reason, I'm really tired, I don't want to drive,
or just she's having a good time, that would bother you?
Yeah, I mean, no, it wouldn't bother me, but I would be if it kept happening, or if it was because of drinking, it would bother me a lot.
That's fair, because I was ready to kind of have a conversation with you on that, but the drinking part is fair. I can understand where you come with that. If it was repeated behavior, I'm fine with I enjoy my personal time, so anytime Jackie wants to go out and stay out, it does not bother me in the least.
Yeah, if it was kind of I'm gonna be gone all night anyway, and then she's just spending the night, I'd be whatever. I basically
she's having a girls' night.
Yeah, I would say it's a minor thing, but if it was a repeated pattern, I could see myself being hey, you're not spending the night here, but this is
repeated once a week.
Yeah, once a week, I would be hey, you're kind of
that's pattern forming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that opens up the door to a whole new bunch of insecurities when you start seeing that happening.
Right.
Exactly.
But in this situation, it seems like it's happened, twice or something?
Right, and he's already at a 10 over it. The females thing's a huge red flag. Oh, I don't think we can gloss over that.
Females are weird.
That's coding with a lot of really unsavory shitheads that are running amok right now.
And just because guys don't usually behave more intimately with each other than women do, doesn't mean that it's weird. We just operate differently.
That's also just his very narrow view of masculinity.
True.
He has no fucking idea which way is up, and he's clearly begging for help, but he's doing it in the way of an absolute villain. And it's really hard to have patience for people like this. You're 32 and you're coming after a 23-year-old. You are right on the edge of in the I don't know, like your business is your business, but that is somebody who is still developing, and like, yeah, they're an adult, but like you want to have a committed relationship at 32 with a 23-year-old. I'm sure that can be a very healthy relationship, but I don't know.
It comes off as like being her parent.
Yeah.
And like,
Yes.
and like false, like, I'm so much more mature than you.
That and the fact that she doesn't have a lot of dating experience, that's a hallmark for older people can date younger people. I don't have a problem with that, but there's too much evidence here that this isn't somebody who goes after younger women for a reason.
Yeah. Where you can mold them into like
grooming.
Grooming.
Which
exactly.
I mean, she's 23.
Yeah,
it's not grooming.
Grooming is the wrong word.
Well,
but
where you can
manipulating,
mold them
controlling.
into who you want them to be, because they're literal.
Well, that's controlling. That's controlling.
Literally her frontal cortex isn't even developed yet. So like she doesn't know much about relationships, so he could easily like imprint on her exactly what he wants in a relationship when that's not necessarily what she's gonna want.
Yeah, he's already trying to take her away from her family.
He's not facilitating her autonomy and her growth. He's saying grow this way, controlling, manipulating. I think that's a reasonable characterization. I think the red flags are all over this thing. I've never stayed with anyone since the day we got together. Like that's a very controlling rule there.
That's super creepy.
Never. You're allowed to go spend the night, go on a vacation with friends.
Right.
Like, whoa, OP.
And also your mom, and now you're like not seeing your dad because you know he's gonna react poorly. And exactly what you said is you don't want to regret never seeing your dad or spending enough time with him.
I think you're into something. I think you just caught on to another thing there, which is like you are changing your behavior to avoid his emotions.
Exactly.
That's something toxic, OP. You know? So needless to say, this is a big hearty breakup with him. Fuck this guy. He sounds mad shitty.
He's right up there with James and the shithead rafters.
Yeah. What was James? The James who kept feeding the dog?
Yeah, he kept.
Oh, fuck him.
Yeah.
OP, we wish you the best.
I don't know what you can do about this. I mean, maybe try and talk to him and be like,
no.
You think just end it?
I think get away from this person. You're not going to be able to turn around a 33-year-old male who's behaving this way and has basically been behaving this way for 4 years and telling you you can't spend the night anywhere.
Oh, that's you're right.
Wild.
It's been 4 years. I didn't even think about that. So that means she was like 18, 19.
Oh my God. I didn't even put that together. She was fucking 19 when this started. So you were a fresh baby.
I definitely missed that detail. Holy shit.
Yikes.
Run. Like get the fuck out. Like
he was 29. Ugh.
He was 29 and she was 19. That's
cringy.
We always got to look at the holistic picture, but like I think in this dynamic, it is thoroughly unambiguous. AITA for one to say with friends or family. Even this question I thought was confused by when I initially read it. OP, this is a whopping NTA and your boyfriend is
piece of shit.
This guy sucks. Like run, like Jake nailed it. Run, just run and don't look back, please. Do not negotiate with this emotional terrorist.
Yep, 100%.
Circle your wagons. This guy fucking sucks.
This guy sucks.
NTA.
Well, ending on a dark note here, NTA. How can we get out of this funk? Let's leave everyone on a good note.
You did this, Stan.
No, I did.
We could just reverse the orders of the situations in the edit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Believe this part in, so when it comes up at the top of the show.
Really fucking confusing.
Well, wait, then you would have to coming back from that one would be kind of tough too. I think it has to stay at the end.
But we could put a commercial.
Yeah, can we get Toyota on the phone? See if we can just like stick that at the end. Oh, that Burger King song.
Wait, what about that one commercial that goes,
oh boy, she's gonna do the commercial.
It always plays on this podcast and is like, I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream.
At Pachanga Casino.
Come true. Yeah.
You can be a winner.
You never listen to that?
No, I don't listen to the ads. The ads they get put in. I edit just the pod.
That's rude.
So listening was a.
That's rude. Well, I already edited it. I was here. I edited it. How many times do you want me to listen to my own podcast?
They're guests on the show. You should listen to the commercials.
Somebody actually tweeted, they go, UPS ad before the pod. Do they know what they're doing?
Oh, yeah.
They said, are they masochists? And I was like, well, we know they're sadists, so maybe it adds up. BDSM UPS.
Well, thank you guys. Love you so much. Mwah.
I didn't like that.
That
Oh,
was
God.
what happened to our trademark bye instead of this sultry, nasty, wet kiss. Mwah. Does that come with a foot?
Sex photo.
Mwah and a foot. Bye.
Bye.